Hey everybody, quick video for this next couple of weeks tasks. I think it's a good time for us to reflect on how the semester has been going. And I think it's a really interesting opportunity for a literacy studies class because I think what's being demanded of your reading and writing practices, your literacies, is different. It's different for all of us. My workflow has changed quite a bit since we've gone to fully online. So I thought maybe we'd take a moment to kind of both reflect on that and also maybe even make some suggestions for either, our future selves, like what we might do differently in the spring, but also maybe your faculty, like, what insights could you give about what's working and what isn't for you? So by Wednesday, I'm hoping that you'll post in Currents a list of some of the platforms that you've been asked to use. And going beyond just a list, I'd like to see you think through both what you think the intention of that platform was, like why did your faculty person choose that? Why are we using Perusal and Currents and my website? And if you're in other classes, why are they using Blackboard or asking you to be on, say, Hypothesis or some other kind of platform? What do you think those platforms are doing? And then how are they working for you? What reading and writing practices are they asking you to take up, and does that work for you? So that you could do a list, but also kind of expand that list to give us some insights into what the platform does and how it's working for you. And that'll be our first kind of curation that you can write from, later. Then for our reading this week, I want to get started on your kind of major project that you're going to have through the month of November. And what you're going to be asked to do is a mini ethnography, and you'll see the assignment below on the page here and then under our assignments too. You're going to identify a group that you want to think through how literacy functions in that group. What does reading and writing do? How are newcomers maybe taught to be a part of that group through the reading and writing practices of that group? Or if workplace literacy, like what are the literacies of a coffee shop that you work at, or a retail store that you work at? What are you expected to do with reading and writing? And so you'll do some data collection around your own group. And so what I've done this week is put 3 examples from students from last fall, Morgan and Miguel and Orion. They looked at, Morgan looked at D&D, the game D&D, and looked at identity formation and how characters are created in that game. Miguel looked at Minecraft and the literacies of that, and Orion went into a really specific Reddit community and looked at a group she joined that supported parents who had kids who were had autism, on the autism spectrum. And so she looked at how the reading and writing was supporting those parents in that Reddit community. So I'm hoping those examples, I'm going to have you read them in Perusal, and then you can comment on questions you have about the assignment or the ways in which those students, you think those drafts are meeting the goals of the assignment. How did they do data collection? What did they do with that data? So I'm hoping it'll give you a place to comment. It looks like a lot of reading, but I think actually it's double spaced and stuff. I think it'll go pretty fast. Read those 3 examples. There's that. Somewhere in there you're going to vote. Like, don't forget to vote. You got to vote either a week from Tuesday or earlier is even better. So make sure that happens. And then the writing that we're going to do this time is both a reflection of how the semester's going using the platforms you've gathered. And then also, I'm going to ask you to get started on the initial thinking of that mini ethnography assignment. Give me a heads up on, do you have any idea what group you might look at or what, you want to research for your ethnography? And then we'll end with a make. And I can imagine you doing all kinds of things with your makes. You might use it as a place to reflect on your reading and writing of the semester so far. In fact, you could grab a whole bunch of your writing from your different classes and try to put it together in some sort of collage or some sort of narrative or something. Maybe even it turns itself into a poem, all your writing from your various classes. You could do a screen capture that walks us through what your day looks like online. And I gave an example from Miguel, again, former student. You could try out Adobe Spark. I put a link to it, and it might be a way for you to curate both some videos or some of your writing or some images from this semester. So yeah, use it as an opportunity to kind of reflect on where we are right now, since we're a little bit past midway in this semester. So yeah, that's our goals, and I'm excited. I think this next couple weeks will be very narrative and kind of reflective, and then also a chance for you to think ahead of the ethnography assignment. I'm going to offer a virtual writing retreat to get started a couple of different times with that assignment, both to get started and also when we have drafts to help each other get some writing done. So watch for that. I'll probably go back to that original doodle poll and see what kinds of times work for you all. So yeah, I think that's it. Somewhere in between this, we'll have both Halloween, which will be weird, and voting somewhere in this next couple weeks. So take good care of yourself as well. All right, reach out if you need anything.